tapping softly on the old zinc roof that night. I was folding up the curtains by the kitchen window light. The kettle started singing like it always used to do, and the little wooden table still had scratches from me and you. I heard a taxi slowing at the corner by the gate. For a moment I stopped breathing, thinking maybe you came late. But I looked into the hallway where your old coat used to hang, and I whispered to the silence, some things don't feel the same. I waited through the seasons, I waited through the doubt. I kept a little doorway for a love that walked out. But time has its own language, and it teaches what it can. Sometimes the person you are missing is a stranger when they stand. You're not too late. After I learned how to sleep alone, you called my name. After I stopped waiting by the phone, I carried your memory like a letter I never sent. But the woman who opened that door is not the woman you left. You're not too late. When the flowers had already grown, you came searching for yesterday. But yesterday had moved on. I saw you at the market, near the fruit stall by the road. You were holding that old jacket and wearing that familiar smile you showed. You said, I know I hurt you, I know I disappeared, and your voice sounded smaller than the one I used to hear. You told me about the hard nights and the roads you had to take. You said you finally understood the silence you helped create. I wanted to believe you, I almost said your name, but I remembered Sunday mornings when I carried all the pain. I was the one who listened when nobody else could see. I was the one collecting pieces of what was left of me. So when you came with your apologies and memories in your hands, I had to ask myself quietly, do I still know this man? You're not too late. After I learned how to stand on my own, you called my name. After I built a life from the unknown, I carried your memory, but I no longer lived inside the past. Some doors stay open for a season, some moments are not made to last. You're not too late. When my tears had dried away, you came looking for the old me, but she had already changed. My mother saw you leaving from the chair beside the wall. She didn't say a single word, she just watched it all. Later she poured the coffee and placed a cup beside mine. She said, child, some things return only after losing time. I walked down by the harbor where the fishing boats rest still. The same sea heard my crying, but it never broke my will. I touched the old photograph that I kept inside my drawer, and for the first time in many years, I didn't hurt anymore. Maybe in another lifetime, the timing would have changed. Maybe we would have found each other before the distance came. But love is not just coming back when the damage has been done. It is showing up when someone's heart still has a place for someone. I don't hate you for leaving, I don't blame you for the years, but I cannot give tomorrow to someone who missed me here. You're not too late, but I hope you find your way. I hope somebody meets you on a better kind of day. I will keep the good memories, the laughter and the rain, the little moments we collected before we became strangers again. You're not too late, and I finally understand some people are a chapter, not the whole book in your hands. You're not too late, but I open just to say thank you for what we were. Now I choose my own way. The rain stopped falling, the morning found the street. I opened up the curtains and felt the sunlight on me. No anger at the doorway, no sadness left to prove. Just a woman moving forward with a heart that learned to move. You're not too late, but I was already home. I waited past dusk. The sun was slipping behind the hillside when I pulled my chair close to the door. The old wooden step was still warm from the afternoon, and your footsteps weren't there anymore. I watched the children running through the lane with their school bags dragging behind. The neighbor's radio played an old love song, the kind you used to sing off-key sometimes. The kettle was humming in the kitchen, the smell of ginger filled the room. I folded the cloth you left on the table and wondered if you were coming soon. The clock above the wall kept moving, but I stayed where I had been, waiting for a knock that never came, waiting for the sound of you again. I told myself just give it some time. Maybe the road was longer than you planned. Maybe the rain caught your taxi somewhere. Maybe life had changed your hand, but the night kept painting shadows across the place we knew. And I learned how quiet a house becomes when it is waiting to. I waited past dusk when the street lights started glowing. I waited past the last bus home when the whole town stopped moving. I left the door unlocked, not because I was foolish, but because a part of me believed you would find your way through it. And if you ever pass that corner where we used to laugh and talk, you'll see a woman standing stronger than the one you walked away from. I waited past us until my heart understood some things we hold on to and some things we never could. Your sister came by on a Sunday morning with fresh bread wrapped inside a cloth. She sat beside me on the veranda and spoke about the things we lost. She said, you know, we loved your cooking, then smiled and looked down at her hands. I think he was scared of becoming someone who who could not give you what you planned. I never knew about the letters hidden underneath his bed. Words he wrote but never delivered, thoughts he carried instead. I found one folded in an old jacket. The ink was fading but still clear. It said, I hope she knows I tried. And that was the first time I saw your fear. Not every goodbye is spoken, not every ending has a sound. Sometimes people disappear slowly before they ever leave the ground. I used to search every passing face, every taxi coming down the road, but healing came quietly, like rain falling soft on a zinc roof. I stopped asking the morning questions, I stopped fighting with yesterday. I started opening the windows and letting new light find its way. I waited past dusk when the street lights started glowing. I waited past the last bus home when the whole town stopped moving. I left the door unlocked, not because I was foolish, but because a part of me believed you would find your way through it. And if you ever pass that corner where we used to laugh and talk, you'll see a woman standing stronger than the one you walked away from. I waited past us until my heart understood. Some things we hold on to, and some things we never could. Years have a way of changing places. The cafe where we met is gone. The tree where we carved our little promises now gives shade to someone else's lawn. I walked that road last evening with groceries in my hand. I heard a child laughing nearby and a guitar playing in the distance. And for the first time in a long while, I did not look behind. I did not wonder where you were or what was on your mind. I carried the woman I became through every storm and every tear. The one who waited in the darkness finally brought herself back here. If you ever hear this song someday, I hope you understand. I wasn't waiting for a person, I was waiting for my own heart to stand. I love the days we shared together, I won't pretend they weren't true. But I had to learn that losing someone doesn't mean losing you. The girl who watched the road for hours is not the woman that you knew. She found a way to keep the memories without being trapped inside of you. I waited past us, but I don't wait anymore. The light that I was searching for was already inside my door. I kept the photographs, I kept the songs we used to play, but I finally stopped asking why you had to walk away. And if you ever pass that corner where our story used to begin, you'll see a woman smiling softly at the life she found within. I waited past dusk through the longest night I knew, and when the morning finally came, I was standing there brand new. The kettle still sings in the kitchen, the same old floor still knows my feet. But the woman who once waited by the doorway now walks freely down the street. No anger in my footsteps, no sadness in my eyes, but the woman who table for two. The little cafe on King Street still keeps the chair by the window where you used to watch the rain fall down while I stirred sugar in my coffee slow. The owner still remembers your laugh, says you always came in 5 minutes late, with that old leather jacket on your shoulder and an apology waiting at the gate. I walked past there yesterday evening. The smell of cinnamon filled the air. I touched the wooden table where we sat, and for a moment you were sitting there. The waitress asked me, one or two? I almost answered without thinking. Then I looked at that empty chair and felt my old memories speaking. I never told the world our little secrets, the quiet things that nobody knew, like how you saved the last piece of cake because you knew I wanted it too. Some stories don't end with anger, some doors don't close with goodbye. Sometimes love leaves a place behind where two hearts still ask why. There's still a table for two by the window facing the street. 2 cups waiting in my imagination. 2 footsteps I still hear beneath my feet. And I don't sit there crying anymore. I don't blame the passing years. I just smile at the empty chair and the love that brought me here. Because some people leave your hands, but they never leave your story. Some memories lose their pain and turn into quiet glory. There's still a table for two where our old conversations rule, and every time I pass that place, I remember the best of you. I found your old photograph last Sunday inside a book beside my bed. The corners were soft from being touched. The colors had started fading red. My sister said, you kept that picture. I laughed and looked away, because she didn't know that little things can bring back an entire day. Like the taxi ride through Halfway Tree, when the rain covered up the road. You held my groceries under your shirt while I carried that heavy load. We weren't perfect, no we weren't. We had storms we couldn't hide, but you always came back to the kitchen and stood there waiting by my side. Maybe I was too young to understand what your silence tried to say. Maybe you were carrying worries you never wanted to place my way. But now I see the man behind the mistakes, the heart behind the pride, the person who was learning how to love while walking through his own tide. There's still a table for two by the window facing the street. 2 cups waiting in my imagination. 2 footsteps I still hear beneath my feet. And I don't sit there crying anymore. I don't blame the passing years. I just smile at the empty chair and the love that brought me here. Because some people leave your hands, but they never leave your story. Some memories lose their pain and turn into quiet glory. There's still a table for two where our old conversations grew, and every time I pass that place, I remember the best of you. Last Sunday after church bells rang, I saw your mother in the square. She held my hand and whispered softly, child, he always knew you cared. She told me something I never heard, something you kept locked away. You saved every birthday card I wrote and read them on your hardest days. I stood there under the afternoon sky with tears I couldn't explain. Not the kind that break a person, the kind that wash away the rain. I used to wonder if I mattered, if my love was enough to stay. But sometimes hearts speak quietly long after words fade away. If I could sit across from you tonight, just for one more cup of tea, I wouldn't ask about the ending or why you had to leave. I would tell you that I forgave you for the things we couldn't repair, and I would thank you for the moments when you showed me you were there. The table was never about the place, the plates, the lights, the view. It was about two ordinary people trying to make something true. There's still a table for two by the window facing the street, but now I see an empty chair, something beautiful, not incomplete. Because love is not only staying, and love is not only here. Sometimes it is the strength to smile through the memories and tears. There's still a table for two where our young hearts learn to grow. And even though the seasons change, there are things the soul still knows. So leave the candle burning, let the old record play. I will carry what was honest and let the rest drift away. Still a table for two. I found your old guitar leaning by the window, the one with the broken string you refused to throw away. Dust had settled over the wooden body, but I could still hear the nights you used to play. The cafe down the corner still opens at 7. The same little bell still rings above the door. Mrs. Clark still asks about the two of us. Then she looks away like she already knows. I remember you sitting beside my table, writing words on a napkin you never let me read. You laughed and said, one day I'll finish this song. Then you folded it away with your dreams. I never asked you where the melody went, I never chased the words you left behind. But some promises don't disappear quietly, they wait somewhere between the heart and time. You carried so many things you never spoke about behind that smile you wore so easily. Maybe you thought silence would protect us, but silence was the thing that left me wondering. That was a song you owed me, the one you started but never finished, the words you kept inside your chest, the love you were too afraid to admit. I didn't need a perfect melody, I didn't need 1,000 lines, I only wanted the truth you promised before you walked away that night. That was the song you owed me, the story you left incomplete. And somehow after all these years, I still hear it underneath. Your mother called me last December morning, said She found a notebook behind your old chair. The pages smelled like yesterday's rain, and your handwriting was waiting there. She told me, child, he wrote about the market road, the little place where you bought flowers in June. He wrote about the way you listened to him when nobody else had the patience to. I held that notebook beside my kitchen table, with the kettle singing softly on the stove. And I read every unfinished sentence, every feeling you were too proud to show. You wrote about the fear of disappointing me, about the weight you carried alone. You thought leaving would make you stronger, but it only made your heart feel cold. I touched those pages with trembling fingers, like touching a memory that could disappear. And for the first time I understood you, not the man who left, but the man who was scared. That was the song you owed me, the one you started but never finished, the words you kept inside your chest, the love you were too afraid to admit. I didn't need a perfect melody, I didn't need 1,000 lines. I only wanted the truth you promised before you walked away that night. That was the song you owed me, the story you left incomplete. And somehow after all these years, I still hear it underneath. When I saw you standing by the old seaside road, the evening was turning gold and slow. You looked older, your hands looked tired, but your eyes still carried what I used to know. You said I kept writing, but I never had courage. Every verse stopped before your name. I thought if I stayed away long enough, maybe I could forget the pain. I smiled and said, you know what's funny? I stopped waiting a long time ago. But some things don't need waiting, they just need the truth to finally show. The fishing boats moved quietly in the water, the children were calling from the street, and there we stood with all those years between us, trying to find the words we couldn't speak. Maybe the song was never about forever, maybe it was never about being right. Maybe it was about two people learning that love needs honesty, not pride. I don't blame you for the roads you travel, I don't blame myself for letting go. But every unfinished song has a reason, and every lost heart has something to show. That was the song you owed me, and now I finally understand. It wasn't about the words you wrote, it was about the man behind the pen. You gave me every missing chapter, every truth you were afraid to say, and the silence between our hearts finally found its way. That was the song you owed me, the one that waited through the years. Not a promise made in perfect time, but a truth that finally appeared. So leave the old guitar by the window, let the morning find its place. Some songs arrive much later, but they still know the way. And when the radio plays softly and the rain falls on the street, I hear the song you owed me, finally complete.
The one with the coffee stain from years before.
She poured 2 cups of tea like she always did, then smiled softly and said, "You still think I don't see it?" The yard was quiet, the flowers had grown. The same little chair sat beside the old stone. And I remember the day you came by my gate, trying to act like you weren't already late. You were nervous, you looked at the ground, but your eyes told the truth before words came around. Your mother watches from the doorway that day. She knew every feeling we tried to hide away. I laughed and said, "Nothing is happening here." But she just smiled like she already knew. Your mother already knew before I ever said your name, before I admitted what was growing inside, before I stopped running away. She saw the way you looked at me when you thought nobody could see. Some things don't need a promise or a sign. Your mother already knew mine. I remember Sunday after church in the town, your old blue shirt and your shoes worn down. We walked past the market where the mangoes were sweet, sharing one umbrella in the middle of the street. You told me about your worries, your dreams and your fears, the things you never told anyone for years. You said, "I don't know where this road may go, but with you beside me I feel like I know." Then you disappeared for a season of rain. No goodbye letter, no reason explain. I kept your photograph behind my mirror glass, now waiting forever, just honoring the past. Then one evening your mother called my name, said, "Child, some hearts wander but they return the same." She told me you kept that old record I gave you, the one we played when the house was brand new. She said he never stopped speaking about you, and suddenly the years felt less heavy too. Your mother already knew before I ever said your name, before I admitted what was growing inside, before I stopped running away. She saw the way you looked at me when you thought nobody could see. Some things don't need a promise or a sign. Your mother already knew mine. When you came back, the evening was slow. The streetlights flickered like they wanted to know. You stood by the gate with your hands in your coat, searching for words that were caught in your throat. You said I was young and I didn't understand. I let pride take me far from your hand, but every place I went, every road I crossed, I carried the memory of what I lost. I didn't answer right away. I watched the children running down the lane. I heard the neighbors calling each other home, and felt how much we had both grown. Then I said, "You know what your mother told me?" You smiled and whispered she always knew. Maybe love is not the loudest sound, maybe it's the quiet that stays around. Maybe it lives in a photograph's frame, in a familiar voice calling your name. Maybe some people leave just to learn that some doors are worth finding again. And maybe the heart remembers the truth long before we are ready to choose. Your mother already knew before the seasons changed our view, before the distance tested our hearts, before we found our way back through. She saw the kindness in your eyes, the honesty you tried to disguise. She knew the story we were afraid to write when we were lost in the middle of life. Your mother already knew the thing we both were too afraid to say. Some love does not disappear, it waits until we find our way. Now when the rain falls I hear your mother laughing in the next room. The kettle sings, the evening turns blue, and I smile because she already knew. She already knew. She already knew. The fruit man was packing away the last of the June mangoes when I crossed the square. A kettle whistle from the cafe on the corner. Someone laughed too loud. Someone called, "See you tomorrow." The day was folding itself carefully, like a tablecloth after Sunday dinner. Then I saw you, standing outside the bookshop, reading the same page without turning it. You looked up, neither of us moved for a little while. Evening stayed. The sea breeze found the loose strands of my hair. Church bells wandered across the rooftops. No one hurried us, not the traffic, not the sky. When evening stayed, the word forgot to rush us home. Street lights bloomed one by one, and every quiet second felt large enough to live inside. You didn't promise tomorrow, I didn't ask you to. Some moments are complete before a single goodbye. When evening stayed, I learned how peaceful hope could sound. We walked toward the harbor without deciding to. Fishing boats rocked gently, their ropes knocking softly against old wooden posts. A vendor handed us 2 roasted corn cobs. "You'll need both," she smiled. We laughed. You brushed salt from my sleeve, such a small thing. Still, I remembered it longer than grand speeches. The sky deepened from gold to deep blue. Neither of us noticed when the shops closed. Sometimes happiness arrives quietly. No music announces it. It simply sits beside you, asking nothing except that you notice. Hey, when evening stayed, the breeze carried the smell of the sea and charcoal smoke. Children chased their last game before dark. The first stars waited patiently above the water. Nothing extraordinary happened, that's why I've never forgotten it. When evening stayed, ordinary life became beautiful enough. Years have passed since that walk. The cafe has new tables. The fruit stand belongs to someone's daughter now. The harbor looks smaller, or maybe I've grown. Yesterday, I passed the same corner again. Another couple stood there, speaking softly, taking far too long to say goodnight. I smile. Some evenings know exactly what they're doing. We spend so much time waiting for unforgettable days, birthdays, weddings, big celebrations. Yet the memory that keeps finding me is simply this: 2 people walking slowly while daylight decided it could wait a little longer. Maybe love isn't measured by fireworks. Maybe it's measured by the moments. Time itself seems unwilling to interrupt. When evening lamps glowed warm, the sea grew quieter. Night finally arrived, but it never hurried us. Whenever the sky begins turning amber, I still carry that peaceful walk inside me. When evening stayed, my heart stopped counting what was missing and started noticing what had already found me. Now, whenever sunset lingers over the rooftops, I slow my steps. Somewhere another story is beginning. Another pair of footsteps is choosing the longer way home. Bakery open before the sun, same warm bread drifting across the road. Miss Gloria swept her little doorway, humming a hymn she never quite finished. I slowed where the old bus used to stop. The paint had faded, the bench leaned a little more than before, but the almond tree still reached over the sidewalk, like it remembered every goodbye. A little boy kicked a football past me. He smiled without asking my name. Some things grow up, some things simply stay. I thought coming back would undo all the careful stitching I'd done around my heart. Instead, the morning held me gently, like it had been expecting me. Our street stayed faithful, even when we couldn't. The window still open to the smell of Sunday cooking. The neighbors still called out from one veranda to another. The road never took sides, it simply kept our footsteps long after we had walked away. Our street stayed faithful until I learned how to be the same. Mr. Campbell still repaired bicycles under the mango tree. He looked up and laughed. So you finally found your way home. I laughed too, I suppose I did. He never asked why I left. Some people know that kindness doesn't need every answer. Down by the corner shop, an old vinyl spun through a tiny speaker. The song skipped at exactly the same place it always had. Even that made me smile. Funny, I spent years believing I had lost everything. Then one ordinary afternoon proved memory isn't always a wound. Sometimes it's a doorway. Our streets stayed faithful. Rain washed the pavement, never our names. Children still chased evening light. Church bells still folded softly into the sea breeze. The place remembered us without asking us to become who we used to be. Our streets stayed faithful until I finally believed I belonged here again. Near the house where we once planted jasmine, new flowers climbed the same fence. A young couple stood outside arguing over paint colors. 5 minutes later they were laughing. I couldn't help smiling. Love keeps borrowing old addresses to begin another story. I touched the gate once, not to reopen yesterday, just to thank it. Then I walked on, lighter than I had arrived. Home isn't only the house with your childhood photographs. Sometimes it's the place that remembers your laughter after you've forgotten its sound. sea cannot forgive, trees cannot. They simply keep growing. Maybe that's what healed me. Nothing waited to accuse me. Everything waited to welcome me. Our streets stayed faithful. Our streets stayed faithful. It carried birthdays, broken promises, market mornings, funeral processions, wedding songs, and children learning to ride bicycles. It carried us all. Today I walked its length without looking over my shoulder. The breeze lifted my dress. Someone waved, someone called my name. For the first time in years I answered without hesitation. Our street stayed faithful, and somewhere along the journey, so did I. Tomorrow, someone else will hurry down the same road, thinking they're only passing through. They won't know how many quiet miracles these cracked pavements have witnessed. But I will, every time I hear morning laughter floating across the verandas. I'll remember some places love us so patiently. They keep our place until we're ready to come home. The radio on Mrs. Grant's front porch was louder than usual, keeping company with the morning while she watered her hibiscus. I was hanging fresh sheets when the announcer chuckled, "Here's one for anyone thinking about somebody today." The first guitar chord drifted over the fence. I stopped pinning the last corner. Funny, I couldn't remember the name of the song, but the silence beside me already knew it. Some memories don't knock, they hear an open window and walk right in. The kettle kept singing, a taxi rolled past. Still, everything seemed to pause. The radio said yours, not your name, it never had to. It found a place where your laughter still echoes, where your coffee cup used to leave its little circle on my kitchen table. One melody, and the whole day started speaking in your voice. That afternoon, I walked through Coronation Market. A vendor handed me 2 mangoes instead of 1. "You always buy a pair," she said before catching herself. Then she smiled. Oh, I forgot. I smiled too, not because it didn't hurt, because it hurt differently now. Like touching an old scar and realizing the skin had finally grown back. Church bells carried through the warm air. Some children chased the football between parked cars. Life had never asked permission to keep moving, it simply did. The radio said yours, not with words, with the spaces between the notes, the gentle rhythm that remembered how we danced barefoot when the electricity went out. And the neighbors laughed from their verandas. A song can keep a secret for years, until one ordinary morning it decides to tell it. On my way home, the rain arrived without warning. I stood beneath the awning of the little record shop. The owner recognized me. He lifted an old vinyl sleeve and asked, "You still want this one?" I looked at it, then shook my head. No, leave it for someone just beginning. He nodded, no questions. Some people understand without asking. Baby, healing isn't forgetting. simply don't disappear. Inside the memory, there's a difference, I finally know it. The radio said yours, and I listened. Then the song ended, the announcer laughed again. Another record began. The clothes on the line danced with the breeze. Mrs. Grant waved from the garden. I waved back, life wasn't replacing what had been. It was making room for everything that could still become. The radio said yours, but my heart, for the first time, answered with my own. Tomorrow morning, the radio will play another song. The kettle will whistle, the neighborhood will wake. And if your memory comes walking through again, I'll offer it a quiet smile and let it leave with the music. Saturday found me at the little fruit stall by the roundabout, turning mangoes in my hands like I had all morning to decide. A woman beside me laughed, said, choose the one that smells sweet, not the one that looks perfect. I looked up to answer, and there you were, waiting for your change. Sunlight catching the edge of your faded blue shirt. It wasn't your smile, not yet. Your eyes came first, calm enough to make the noise around us feel farther away. Some meetings don't arrive with music, just a cashier calling numbers, a paper bag folding shut, and one quiet glance that lingers longer than either person planned. Your eyes came first, before your name, before your voice, before I knew how you took your coffee or whether you could dance. Something honest crossed that little space between us. Not loud, not certain, just enough to make an ordinary morning change direction. A week later, the rain caught us both outside the same bookshop. You held the door, then shrugged. Looks like the weather has other plans. Inside, the owner played an old reggae record, soft enough to leave room for conversation. He spoke about your grandmother, how she measured recipes with her hands instead of spoons. I told you my father still whistled while fixing broken chairs. Neither story was trying to impress, that's why I remember them. The Rainey's people hurried away, neither of us moved. Sometimes the smallest silence is the one worth keeping. Your eyes came first, long before promises, before photographs, before anyone asked what this might become. They carry the kind of kindness that never introduces itself. And little by little, I stopped looking for reasons to leave. Months later, Sunday dinner at my auntie's house. Children chasing each other between the chairs, steam rising from rice and peas. My aunt leaned toward me while everyone argued about who made the better pepper sauce. She She nodded in your direction and whispered, "He listens before he answers." I smiled. She had noticed what mattered most. Life isn't built from grand speeches, it's built from remembering how I take my tea, waiting when my day's been long, fixing the loose gate without being asked, looking across a crowded room until you find me, just to make sure I've arrived. Love grows there quietly. Your eyes came first, everything else learned to follow. The laughter, the shared mornings, the long walks home, when the evening breeze carried the smell of fresh bread through the neighborhood. Now when people ask where our story began, I never mentioned the market, I never mentioned the rain. I simply smile because some beginnings don't start with words, they begin the moment someone sees you exactly as you are and stays. The mangoes are sweeter this time of year. The fruit seller still remembers us. Sometimes we wait, sometimes we stop for a few minutes, and every now and then, when you look across the stall at me, I remember our story started before either of us said a single word. The tide was already climbing when I slipped off my sandals and carried them in one hand. A little boy was building a boat from a coconut husk, arguing with the wind like he expected it to listen. The woman selling roasted corn wrapped one in old newspaper, smiled and said, "Eat before the rain decides for you." I laughed, the first real laugh I'd heard from my own mouth in longer than I could measure. Everybody had advice, keep busy, forget, you'll be alright. But none of those voices followed me here, only the waves did. The sea didn't judge, it touched every footprint the very same way. Never asked who stayed, who left, who should have known better. It simply came and went again. Standing there, I realized kindness can sound like water. There was a bench near the old fishing jetty. Our initials were still there, carved too deep for weather to hurry away. I ran my fingers across them, then stopped. A fisherman beside me was mending a torn net. Without looking up, he said, "If you pull too hard, you make a bigger hole." I don't think he was talking about the net. The girls circled low. Someone farther down the beach started humming an old melody I couldn't quite place. Funny, some songs remember us before we remember them. The sea didn't judge, it carried driftwood, empty bottles, bright shells, and tiny fishing boats with the same kept moving, and somehow so did I. Before leaving, I unfolded the letter I carried all afternoon. The paper had softened from the damp air. I read it once, folded it smaller, slipped it back into my bag. Not because the words mattered less, because they finally belonged to yesterday. The walk home felt shorter, even the sky looked lighter. Maybe peace doesn't arrive with applause. Maybe it waits inside ordinary afternoons. A shared smile, warm salt talked on your skin, fresh bread cooling on somebody's windowsill. A stranger sentence spoken at exactly the right moment. Some endings don't ask us to forget, they simply teach us how to carry less. The sea didn't judge, it welcomed morning, welcomed evening, welcomed every wave without asking where it had been. So today I welcome this heart the same way, not perfect, not untouched, still capable of opening its windows, setting another place at the table for hope, and believing there are beautiful days that have never met me yet. The sea didn't judge, it reminded me I don't have to either. The tide kept rising, children chased foam along the shoreline. The woman with the roasted corn waved as I passed. I waved back, the sea said nothing. Somehow, that was exactly what I needed to hear. By 4 o'clock, the sky had folded into gray, and every shopkeeper glanced upward before pulling another crate inside. I waited beneath the old awning outside the tailor's place. The scent of fresh ginger tea drifted from the cafe next door. The first drop landed right on the letter I'd carried in my handbag all week. Your name blurred first. Funny how rain always knows where to begin. The taxi radio kept fading in and out. Some old love song, then static, then only the sound of water finding every rooftop. Rain over Spanish Town, washing the dust from windows, from mango leaves, from streets that remembered us better than we remembered ourselves. I stood there long enough to understand, not every storm comes to take something, some come to make room. Miss Claudette waved me inside. You'll catch your death out there. She handed me a towel that smelled of lavender soap. We spoke about little things, how the market closed early, how a grandson finally learned to ride his bicycle, how bread costs more now than anyone expected. Then she looked at the envelope resting beside my teacup. "You still carrying that?" I nodded. She smiled, not unkindly. "Child, paper gets heavier the longer you don't open your hand." Outside, children chased each other through puddles as though rain had been invented for laughter. I almost forgot grown people used to do that too. Rain over Spanish Town, soft enough to quiet every argument. I kept rehearsing in my head. The streets kept shining, the gutters kept singing, and somehow the world carried on without asking me to choose between remembering and living. I walked down toward the river. The envelope stayed unopened, not because I was afraid anymore, because I already knew it couldn't change today. I tucked it beneath the roots of an old lignum vitae tree, not as a goodbye, just somewhere the earth could keep it better than I had. When I turned around, the rain had stopped. I hadn't noticed. Maybe healing isn't a loud thing. Maybe it arrives like the neighbor hanging clean sheets after the clouds move on. Maybe forgiveness is simply waking one morning and realizing you stopped rewriting the same conversation. There are roads that don't lead back, still they lead somewhere. Rain over Spanish Town. You never asked who was right. You simply washed every doorstep the same. Now the evening breeze carries the smell of wet earth and fresh bread. Church bells cross the rooftop. Someone laughs at the corner shop. I breathe in slowly, and for the first time the future doesn't feel like a place I'm borrowing. It feels like home. Tomorrow the sun will dry the sidewalks. Children will chalk games where puddles used to be. I'll pass the tailor shop again. Maybe I'll stop for ginger tea. Maybe I won't. Either way, I'll walk on, lighter than the rain that found me. The number 7 minibus side to a stop. Doors folding open with that tired old sound. A schoolgirl squeezed past me, hugging a loaf of fresh bread to her chest, and the smell carried me somewhere I hadn't visited in years. There was a cafe by the corner where the cups never matched. You would always choose the cracked blue one, say tea tasted kinder from imperfect things. I smiled before I caught myself. Funny how some mornings still know your name better than I do. People thought the hardest day was the one you walked away. It wasn't. It was the first ordinary Tuesday that forgot to ask where you'd gone. Your goodbye missed me. It closed the door, but I had already stepped into another room, still carrying something. The fruit vendor had just said the ache arrived later, soft as evening rain on a zinc roof. Your goodbye missed me, but life eventually found me. Your sister stopped me at the market. She held up a shirt, asked, would this color have suited him? I laughed, only if somebody else ironed it. We both laughed too long, then she folded the shirt with careful hands. Some conversations know exactly where to end. On my way home, a fisherman untangled his net, patient as sunrise. Not everything caught is meant to stay. An old Lovers Rock record drifted from the barbershop. The singer stretched one note until even the sparrows fell quiet. I stood outside, pretending to check my phone. Truth was, I wanted to hear the ending. Your goodbye missed me. Thought it could follow forever, but children kept racing bicycles through the lane. Church bells kept arriving on Sundays. My neighbor kept leaving mangoes over the fence. The world refused to stop breathing. Your goodbye missed me, and hope learned my address instead. Yesterday I found the scarf you left behind. Still smelled faintly of cedar soap. I folded it once, twice, then placed it inside the drawer without making it a shrine that felt different, not colder, just lighter, like carrying water after setting down the bucket. If we ever meet again, I won't ask why you left. Time has already answered the questions we were too young to hold. Some people leave before they understand the kindness they were given. Some people stay long enough to teach you how to stay with yourself. Your goodbye missed me. It never reached the woman I became. She wakes before dawn, opens the windows, lets the sea wind find every room. She buys fresh flowers without waiting for an occasion. She laughs from somewhere deeper now. Your goodbye missed me because grace arrived first, and what you couldn't carry away made room for the life I was always meant to live. The cafe still serves tea in those mismatched cups. I choose the cracked blue one, not because it belonged to us, because today it belongs to me. Miss Iris was unlocking the bakery when she looked up and smiled at me, then stopped, like she'd remembered something she shouldn't. Morning child. The smell of warm cocoa bread rose into the street before the sun did. I almost answered, he's just parking the car. Funny how a habit can walk beside you long after the footsteps are gone. There was a little chalk mark still on my sleeve. Your niece hugged me last Sunday, flower on her tiny hands, said I look pretty in yellow. I never brushed it away. People say time is quiet. No, it talks through empty chairs, through songs passing taxi windows. nobody says anymore. Still, I wear the smile I carry. The day you reached across the table and stole the pepper from my plate, because you said I always use too much. It still finds me when church bells drift over evening streets, when somebody laughs with your kind of laugh. I didn't keep your promises, I kept the smile I carry. Your mother called one Tuesday, didn't mention you, asked if I still made sorrow the slow way, with cinnamon first, never rushed. We talked about rain, about electricity going again, about the neighbor's goat escaping another fence. Then she went quiet and whispered, I still set 2 cups sometimes. Neither of us cried, some grief prefers good manners. There's a record shop near Halfway Tree. The owner still flips that old Lovers Rock album every Saturday morning. Needle drops, tiny crackle, and suddenly I'm 26 again. Telling you those singers sounded happier because they never hurried the chorus. Still, I wear the smile I carried. The day you reached across the table and stole the pepper from my plate, because you said I always use too much. It still follows me through market mornings, through sea wind catching my dress, through little ordinary hours that refuse to forget your voice. I didn't keep your promises, I kept the smile I carry. Last month, I gave your old fishing hat to a boy down by the harbor. Too big for him, he grinned anyway. Ran toward the water like the whole sea had been waiting on his feet for the first time. I laughed without checking who was missing beside me. That surprised me, healer never knocked. It simply sat down while I wasn't looking. If you could hear me now, don't worry, I finally painted the front gate blue, just like you kept asking. The hibiscus came back, the loose kitchen drawer still sticks. Some things change, some things stay, because they know their work in love. Sometimes love isn't the person who stays. Sometimes it's the better version of yourself they quietly leave behind. So I wear the smile I carry, not because yesterday is louder than today, but because it taught my face how hope can survive without pretending nothing hurt. When children wave from passing buses, when fresh bread warms another morning, when rain softens the zinc roofs, when someone tells a story you would have loved. There you are, not asking me to wait, just reminding me that joy remembers people long after sorrow learns their name. How wear the smile I carry, and this time it fits only me. Morning comes gently now. Miss Iris unlocks the bakery. The church bell answers. Someone hums an old Lovers Rock tune I haven't heard in years. I smile before I notice, and I let it stay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wasn't looking for memories, I was only trying to clear the top shelf before the rainy season came. Old recipe books, a chipped teacup, letters tied with fading blue ribbon. Then a photograph slipped free and landed face up on the wooden floor. You were laughing, not at the camera, at something. I just whispered a heartbeat before. Somehow the photograph smiled back. Outside, rain tapped softly on the zinc roof. Inside, dust floated through a beam of afternoon light, and time forgot to keep walking. The photograph smiled back, not because paper remembers, because I finally did. The way your shoulders shook when you laughed too hard, the little crease beside your left eye, the habit you had of looking at me first before anyone else in the room. One picture, 1,000 quiet things I thought were gone. I carried it downstairs and tucked it beside my teacup. Mr. Ellis from next door called through the open window. "You making enough tea for company?" I held up the picture and laughed. "Just an old friend." She nodded as though she understood the difference between drinking alone and sitting with the memory. The ginger steam, the radio hum blow. For once the silence didn't feel empty. Funny how healing arrives, not with a speech, not with a sign. Sometimes it comes wrapped in faded edges and fingerprints from another year. The photograph smiled back. It never asked me to stay in yesterday. It simply reminded me that happiness had once been real. If it could happen then, perhaps life still had another beautiful page waiting to be written. That Sunday, my niece came by looking for an old frame for her school project. She picked up the photograph. "Who's this?" I looked at it, then looked at her. A chapter that taught me how to recognize kindness. She smiled, handed it back, and ran outside before I could explain more. Children never ask for the whole story. Sometimes they already hear the ending. We spend so much time afraid of remembering, as if every memory comes to break us. But this one, it came carrying light. It reminded me that I had laughed loudly, trusted freely, and once believed ordinary Tuesdays could become unforgettable. Maybe that's what survives, not every promise, just the goodness we leave inside each other. Oh, the photograph smiled back, so I smiled too, not because I wished to return, because I was grateful I had been there. I had been there at all. The rain eased, the kettle settled, the breeze wandered through the curtains. I placed the picture inside a new frame, not to live beside, but to honor the woman I became, because that moment had once been mine. Oh, the photograph smiled back, and for the first time I smiled without looking away. Tomorrow someone else will dust another shelf, another photograph will find another pair of hands. I hope it reminds them of this. Some memories don't ask us to go backward, they simply return to prove that joy was real, and that our hearts are still capable of welcoming it again.